12. He has brown hair and blue eyes, and he's kind of short for his age and kind of tiny, which he hates. Some of the things he likes to do is he likes to play baseball, and he likes to wrestle and loves playing wiffle ball. Loves to play video games, especially Xbox. He loves Call of Duty and Rocket League. During summer, he likes to go to Hershey Park with his friends.
He's just a very active kid, always on the move, as you guys have probably seen already.
Yeah, he's a pretty quiet kid. He's a deep thinker. He takes everything in and just processes it and just doesn't always say it, so you never really know what he's thinking or what's going on up there, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere he'll just hit you with some big thing that he comes up with. But yeah, so far being a Major League Baseball player is the only thing he's ever said about.
It's funny, he wrote a book, and I think we shared it on his Facebook page at one time, but he wrote a book in school. He had to write about what you're going to be, and I think he really wants to be a Major League Baseball player, but other than that, I don't know that he knows what he's going to do. I know he's going to do something with his hands because he's always touching something. He's always lots of energy. So, but I think he would love to be a Major League Baseball player. But at this point, he's just happy-go-lucky.
I am strong and brave. I wonder what I'll do in college. I hear rattling in my head. I see $1 million. I want to be a famous baseball player. I am strong and brave. I pretend I am a wrestling champion. I feel happy when I play sports. I touch the laces on a football. I worry about my friends. I cry when I get a shot. I am strong and brave. I hear rattling in my head.
So in October of 2015, Colby came to me and said that his mouth was hurting and he was having trouble getting it open. So I thought he might have been having some trouble with his teeth, so I took him into the dentist. And after a couple trips in there, they determined that everything was fine. And then he also started to develop sleep apnea, which he snored really loud at night. He continued to have trouble getting his mouth open. So in December, they sent us for an MRI. And from there, they sent us to Hershey ER.
It was overwhelming. I mean, you go to the hospital. Looking in her eyes, it did not look good. I mean, it was a day I'll never forget. The doctors pull you into a separate room, and the first thing they said to us was, your son has a large cancerous tumor. And you could just tell by their eyes. They said, we've seen this before, we've seen this pattern before. We know it's 90% sure it's cancerous. We just don't know what type of cancer it is yet. I was outside on my knees. I know I was, because it just hit us like a ton of bricks.
Colby had a 9-centimeter tumor in the right side of his face and his neck. It's about the size of a softball. He received his first chemo treatment on January 7th of 2016, and he went through a whole year long of chemo and radiation, 53 chemo treatments and 28 days of radiation. He had to have a feeding tube put in because the burns from his radiation were so severe that he wasn't able to actually eat anything on his own for about 4 weeks, so he was solely fed through a feeding tube. So Colby still continued to go through school as much as he could during his treatments when he was feeling well. He also played some baseball whenever he was able to do that. But then his side effects started to get worse.
It's changed our lives. I mean, you don't live in your selfish type of life anymore. You see everything that's going on around you. You see the other kids and families that go through this. Unless your kid comes up with something like this, you go on your everyday fast-moving life. It's almost like a tunnel vision. You just don't see what's surrounding you. Now we see it all the time, and no matter what happens with Colby in these next 5 years during the scans, we will fight for every kid and try to give back any way we can to help another family. I always say the biggest thing I can tell people, there's a lot of bad moments, there's a lot of things that want to bring you down. I don't care if it's the littlest moment at all, concentrate on the positives. Focus on the positive and enjoy them. You're going to get bad news at times. Just focus on the positives. Thrive on it.
Take time for the little big moments. Like they're going to be small, but enjoy those times. As far as for Colby, whenever he could eat on his own after having his feeding tube in. To some people that might not seem like a big thing, but for us it was huge. There are people out there that truly, truly want to help. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know what to ask. But if they offer their help, don't be afraid to take it.
Four Diamonds and the money raised by Thon really helped. Those people down there became our family.
We went up to Thon last year for our first experience, and it was extremely overwhelming. Lots of just couldn't believe, like all of the kids out there that don't even know these families and don't really have any, know anybody personally, but yet take all this time out of their lives to, put all this energy and raise money in there. It's very, very exciting. And so
Thon was amazing for me last year. I mean, everybody says you don't know what it's like until you experience it for the first time. To go up there and to see the students standing for 46 hours for the cause like this and to raise the kind of money they did, it was amazing. I'll never forget it.
So they had asked us if we were interested at the hospital in being paired with a group, and we said sure. So we got paired with Boulevard, and they're an absolutely wonderful group of young adults. They're very enthusiastic and fun-loving. Really cool.
They feel like family to us. I mean, they've become family in the last year since we've met them. They feel like family.
And they take time to come down, They came down for Colby's birthday and played paintball with him, and they had a special shirt made just for Colby this year. Whenever we came up to Thon, they designed it just for him and his love for baseball. So it was really cool.
Colby was playing on a travel baseball team, the Keystone Nationals, and that was a big deal for Colby. He only ever got to play one tournament with them, and he was an exceptional baseball player. He was doing very well, and then this struck, and it made his body weak. It made everything weaker. However, we kept him going, kept him active. When we could, we would still be in that facility. He would still run with the guys doing their sprints. He would, even with a feeding tube and a Metaport, he was still in there taking batting practice. That was just a big thing. As a dad, I'm probably pushing him more than he probably wanted to do it at points, but we wanted him to keep driving, not give up.
Cancer's taking so much away from him that you're trying to allow him to keep as much of the normal things and the day-to-day things as he, had.
So we always tried to find things to keep Colby looking forward, looking up at the next thing. Don't concentrate on what's going on now. Just keep focusing on what's going to happen in the future.
In December 1st, he received his last chemo treatment. And then on December 19th, he had his PET scan and some other scans done, and it came back that he was cancer-free. So to this day, right now, Colby is 8 months cancer-free. And I think for Colby, it was a big relief because, he's now cancer-free and he can, start to move forward with his life and being a kid again and not having to make those trips every week and having all of those needles poked and all of those poisons and chemos, put into his body. He could actually finally move forward and be, as normal as possible.
It just felt like a big weight coming off your shoulders today that you finally hear the words cancer-free. But then again, I think at that time we had another friend that we met in clinic and they didn't make it. So in the next breath you're up, but then you're right back down saying, I'm so happy for my own son, but we want to be happy for others as well. We want everybody someday to be able to beat this.
I say that I will beat cancer. I dream about being an MLB player. I try to do my best in math. I hope to beat this cancer. I am strong and brave.